Attention, stations on the network. Our broadcast will begin in 15 minutes from my mark. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, mark. That was your 15-minute time check, stations. Attention, stations on the network. Our broadcast will begin in 10 minutes from my mark. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, mark. That was your 10-minute time check, stations. Attention, stations on the network. Our broadcast will begin in 5 minutes from my mark. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, mark. That was your 5-minute time check, stations. Attention, stations on the network. Our broadcast will begin in 2 minutes from my mark. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, mark. That was your 2-minute time check, stations. Attention, stations on the network. Our broadcast will begin in 1 minute from my mark. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, mark. That was your 1-minute time check, stations.
back at the road to the Citrus Bowl.
And twin to the left on the short side of the field. Good protection. McNamara throws it to the end zone. Man wide open. Caught. Touchdown. Touchdown. Touchdown, Iowa to start the game. Seth Anderson, welcome from Charleston. Second down, 15. Beck to throw. Gets rid of it. Picked off. And going the other way for an easy score. Sebastian Castro. Touchdown, Iowa. Touchdown, Castro. And the Swarm will trot down to the other end of the field and pick up the beloved Cy-Hawk trophy. Deontay Vines splits wide to the right. One running back is LaShawn Williams. They blitz. Cade gets rid of it, and it's to a wide open LaShawn Williams. Got a blocker in front. 10-5. Touchdown, Iowa. Touchdown. Touchdown, LaShawn Williams. Gone before you can see me. Hill to throw. It's a slot or tight end screen. All slips through. He's still going. On his feet. End zone. Touchdown. Touchdown, Iowa. Eric All slipped out of an ankle tackle at the line of scrimmage and took it to the house. Now Purdy has a fresh set of downs. Rolls out right. He's scrambling. Now tries to trim back. Oh, the ball's knocked away. Recovered by Jay Higgins. Jay Higgins recovers the poke away from Chubba Purdy. It's a good wobbly punt, but high enough. DeJean can return at the 30, 35, 40. Midfield still going. 40, 35, 30, 25, 20, 10. Goal line, doorstep. Touchdown. Touchdown, Iowa. Touchdown. Jack Armstrong, the All-American boy. Straight ahead running. Big hole for Caleb Johnson. He's loose. Nobody's going to catch him. 30, 25, 20, 10, 5. Touchdown. Touchdown, Iowa. A gaping hole off the left guard side. Out of the tight eye. Here come the Hawkeyes running straight ahead. Great move by LaShawn Williams. He's loose. 40, midfield, 45, 40. One guy to beat. 35, 30, 25, 20, 10, 5, and touchdown. Touchdown, Iowa. The Hawkeye offensive line kept at it, and what a great move at the line of scrimmage by LaShawn Williams. He came to a full halt for at least 1,001 count and let the waves part, and he was gone. We await the snap from Luke Elkin. Here it is. Taylor gets the spot down, and it is right down the middle, right down Clark. Here's a slot receiver screen for Brown. He goes in. Touchdown, Iowa. They won't have to review that one. His knee wasn't down. Touchdown, Caleb Brown. A big play in the game here, gang. Paddock, here's a snap. They're going for it. The pass is incomplete. Knocked down again at the line of scrimmage. Joe Evans. And this Iowa defense does it again. The Hawks have another set of downs. Here's a big hole. Caleb Johnson. He's going to go to the end zone. Touchdown, Iowa. Touchdown, Iowa. No flags. Rusty Feth blew it wide open over right guard, and so did Tyler Ellsbury. And 30 yards later, Caleb Johnson gives the Hawkeyes a lead. Corey Taylor to hold, and Marshall Meter trying to get out of town with a Hawkeye victory. Here's the snap. The kick is on the way, and it is good. Good. Marshall Meter. The ball bounced back to Torrey Taylor. It bounced right into his hands. He put it down, and Marshall Meter got about 3/4 leg strength into it, and it just barely crawled over the crossbar.
On the Hawkeye Sports Network from Learfield, Iowa, Tennessee, the Hawkeyes versus the Volunteers. It's the Citrus Bowl. On the Hawkeye Sports Network from Learfield, this is the Hawk Talk Bowl Preview Show, swarming to the Citrus. Brought to you by Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. By your local Ford dealers. Iowa Corn. You might think Iowa just grows corn, but the truth is, corn grows Iowa. Brought to you by Iowa's corn farmers of the Iowa Corn Growers Association and the Iowa Corn Promotion Board. U.S. Bank, proud to support Iowa football. U.S. Bank, equal housing lender, member FDIC. University of Iowa Healthcare, changing medicine, changing lives. Also brought to you by U.S. Cellular, built for the Hawkeyes. Built for silencing notifications and turning up the noise. U.S. Cellular, built for us. Iowa Swarm. Learn more at iowaswarm.com. Authentic Brand, the premium label of choice. and by 988 Lifeline. If you or someone you know needs support now, call or text 988 or chat 988lifeline.org. Live from the pub in the Point Orlando, here's Gary Dolphin and Ed Podolak.
Hey, good afternoon. Happy New Year from the Hawkeyes and the Hawkeye Radio Network. Good afternoon, everybody, here in Orlando. We've got family, we've got friends, we've got Hawk fans everywhere, and we thank you for tuning in back in the Midwest and the great state of Iowa. There are Hawkeye fans all over this community. That's to be expected. So welcome to in what has become an annual bowl preview show, specifically swarming to the Citrus. The Cheez-It Citrus Bowl, thanks to the Swarm Collective for hosting our festive and extra special Hawk Talk here this afternoon. We've got Brad Heinrichs and Jane Oswald from the Swarm here with us, and we certainly appreciate their support of the Hawkeyes. If you love hearing the Hawkeye Victory Polka, now's your chance to put the Hawks on top while also helping local charities throughout eastern Iowa. Go to iowaswarm.com, and join the Swarm. Well, Iowa fans have been swarming in all week from all areas of the country. The Hawks have been bowl eligible now for 22 of the last 23 years under head coach Kirk Ferentz. Man, oh man, what a record, what a run. This is the Hawkeyes' 36th bowl appearance overall. Tennessee is bowling for a 56th time, and that is fifth most in college football. The only one that matters, though, is tomorrow at noon, Iowa time. The Authentic Brand and Whiffles Hybrids Hawkeye pregame coverage starts at 10 o'clock Central Time with a caravan of guests, and we'll tell you about some of those that will be stopping by and appearing on our show tomorrow morning as we count it down to kickoff. This afternoon, we're broadcasting live from the pub at the Point here in Orlando. A beautiful facility just off International Drive. If you've been to the Citrus Bowl here before, you know exactly where I'm talking about. It's a mixture of great restaurants, bars, clothing, hotels, shops, and restaurants galore for several miles up and down beautiful International Drive. And we'll be having the Hawkeye Huddle a little bit later on, just down the street, live from the Plaza area, about stone's throw, maybe a pitching wedge shot from here, as we welcome in Athletic Director Beth Getz, and we'll talk with University President Barbara. She'll be there. Barbara is in town with her entourage. So we've got them represented from the university down to the small town farmer here in Orlando this day, and we thank you all for coming out. The Hawkeyes flew into town on Tuesday and put together 3 hard-hitting, very spirited practices. And, of course, Wednesday, you know now, All-American linebacker Jay Higgins announced he would return to Iowa next year. How great is that? Higgins is the Big Ten's top tackler with 155 stops. And then the next day, star tight end Luke Lachey informed Hawkeye Nation he, too, would be returning to the black and gold in Iowa City for 2024. Luke, all Big Ten. He's the next star in a great line of Iowa tight ends. Eric All has a decision to make yet. He, of course, lost at midseason up at Wisconsin to injury. And there are a few others that have yet to make up their mind. Quinn Schulte, Cooper DeJean, there are others. I'm losing, I don't have the list here in front of me, but the more that come back, the stronger that team looks again for next year. So we'll worry about that when it happens, and the information is sent our way. We'll be glad to pass it along to you. The Hawks are out at the stadium right now going through a light walkthrough, and then they'll be having their team photo for the Citrus Bowl in about an hour or so this afternoon, and then they'll be back at the hotel or a hotel, and they'll be bunkering in tonight to get ready for that noon kickoff tomorrow. So we'll keep you entertained between now and then. Coach Ferentz, we were at he and Coach Heupel, Tennessee coach Josh Heupel's final press conference before the game this morning, and Coach talked about the thrill of being back in Orlando for this wonderful bowl game.
First and foremost, we were here 2 years ago, and I was at an event last night. Worked with a guy named Bill Brazier back in the 80s on Coach Fry's staff, defensive coordinator, and he had a saying. He says, there's no such thing as a bad bowl game. Some are just better than others. And I can tell you firsthand, this is one of the best out there. It's just fantastic experience for everybody involved, our players first and foremost, staffs, families, the travel party. So it's just been outstanding. As Josh said, Steve and the whole committee do just a wonderful job. So we're certainly thrilled to be back in Orlando and have a chance to play in a game like this. And bowl games are special. They're really special. They're special for the players, special for everybody involved. And to be in Orlando and be part of the Cheese and Citrus Bowl is just a tremendous opportunity for us. So we're very appreciative of that. A couple things about bowl games. Typically, every time you're in one, you're going to play an outstanding opponent. In our case, we tend to be the underdogs. I think it's been all but maybe two in our 20-plus years. So that kind of seems to be the way it is. But, bottom line is both teams have earned the right to play in a game like this. It really is significant in that way. And the other commonality of the bowl games, it's the last game that our teams will be together. Both teams, staffs, et cetera. So makes it a little bit unique in that way, a little bit bittersweet.
And it's, of course, a little extra emotional for Coach Ferentz because it'll be Brian Ferentz' last game as offensive coordinator and a staff member. And Brian stood up at the microphone a couple days ago, and he avoided any talk or questions about him and his last game as a Hawkeye head coach. Of course, you go back to his playing days. He grew up in Iowa City. He was an all-Big Ten offensive lineman, then an assistant coach, left to coach in the NFL, came back, and for the last 5 years has been the offensive coordinator for the Hawkeyes. But he deferred any talk about him. He wanted to talk about his team, about his linemen. He had Logan Jones with him, as a matter of fact, the outstanding young center from Council Bluffs. And so it's been a very emotion-filled week, no doubt about it, especially for the Ferentz family. Josh Heupel, the head coach in his third year at Tennessee, outstanding coach. He was right here in Orlando at Central Florida, took over for Scott Frost when Scott moved to Nebraska, and then Josh came here 3 years ago. Josh Heupel, I've said this as long as I've been sitting here with this headset on. There are Iowa connections with every team the Hawkeyes face. And Josh Heupel was the quarterback on Oklahoma's national championship team in 2000. Tremendous quarterback. They beat then previously unbeaten and #1 ranked Florida State. Chris Winkie was the quarterback. He won the Heisman, as memory serves me correct. But Josh Heupel led Oklahoma to a 13-0 season. And his position coach, the quarterback's coach and passing game coordinator for the Oklahoma Sooners that year, was Chuck Long. So Bob Stoops was the head coach. In fact, Josh reflected on that this morning.
Man, we had a lot of Iowa guys down in Oklahoma. Man, I learned a lot from Coach Long. He helped refine me fundamentally, helped me continue to grow in my understanding of the football game, how to lead the people around me. That staff was filled with, the Stoops brothers. Jonathan Hayes was there as well. Those guys have all made such an impact in who I am and what we do inside of our program. Look at the success that we had. That was because of a lot of the things that they learned while they were at Iowa as players and as coaches, and have good relationships with a lot of those guys where I still talk to them, periodically throughout the year.
Outstanding young coach, Josh Heupel, and he knows he just raved about Phil Parker's defense. He knows what he's up against tomorrow. And, of course, Tennessee, if you've been following in the papers or on the air this week, Tennessee has had close to 7, 8, 9 guys opt out of this game, including their starting quarterback, Joe Milton, who, if that name sounds familiar, Joe Milton was a quarterback at Michigan in 2020. Michigan was racked with COVID. They canceled the Iowa game out. They canceled out of the Iowa game. Milton left to come to Tennessee. Cade McNamara moved into the #1 spot at Michigan and, of course, beat the Hawks 2 years ago in the Big Ten championship game. And now Cade's at Iowa. So it's really funny how the interconnecting wires of college football always seem to trace back to Iowa in some way. So the quarterback, Milton, who threw for 2,800 yards this season, 65% completion rate, 20 touchdowns to 5 interceptions. He's not playing. He's going to focus on the NFL. So their backup, and I've been working on this all week long, Nico Iamaleava. Remember that, okay? I'm going to have a test later on. Nico Maleyeva, kid out of Long Beach, California. He was the overall number 1 or number 2 ranked quarterback coming out of high school a year ago. And Brad Heinrichs and I were talking about what did he get from NIL to come to Tennessee all the way across the country. The kid's probably never been out of California. He was a phenomenal high school soccer, beach volleyball. He's 6'6" and 215 pounds. And he's played, what's he thrown here? He's thrown 26 passes this year. 1 touchdown, no picks. So Nico is, now what does Tennessee do? How do they... I mean, they're a run and gun, West Coast, wide open, no huddle offense. They want to push the ball down the field. They might run 3 plays to Iowa's 1. What are they going to do with Phil Parker's defense tomorrow? And I know Parker's hoping that they try and play that way with this young quarterback. So we'll see. Their number 1 tailback has opted out. Jalen Wright, who rushed for 1,015 yards, a 7-yard average. He's not playing. But, you know, it's Tennessee. They've got talent stacked up at every position. So they'll turn to a sophomore named Dylan Sampson, who averages 5.5 yards a carry. They've got Jabari Small. They've got 3 other tailbacks they can go to. None to the caliber of Jalen Wright, but obviously very, very good. And you got to love a program whose leading receiver is named Squirrel. Squirrel White is the leading receiver for the Vols. He's a scat back, 5'10", can really fly down the field. He's got 64 catches this year. They have other great talent at the wideout position. Big offensive line. They've got a couple of 310, 330-pound nose tackles. They have 6 sacks each. They've got an All-American lineman, All-American linebacker named Beardsley. We'll talk about him a lot as the show wears on here this afternoon. But I met him the other day at a press conference, and he is an imposing figure. I said Beardsley. James Pierce is his name. He's got 24 tackles on the year, 9 sacks. That tells you where he lives, in the backfield. So he's going to be coming. And the Iowa offensive line has looked really good this week. I've been watching the line a lot. They're finally healthy, collectively, all together as one. And they've been blocking, to say the least, very, very well in practice. So we'll talk about some of the other key matchups as the show presses on. But we'll step out and take our first break here this afternoon. Again, thanks to the Swarm Collective for sponsoring and hosting us here today. Do you love hearing the Hawkeye Victory Polka? Yes, you do. Now is your chance to put the Hawks on top, while also helping local charities throughout eastern Iowa. Go to iowaswarm.com and join the Swarm. We're swarming at the Citrus Bowl, sponsored by the official car wash of the Hawkeyes. That's Club Car Wash. With unlimited membership starting at just $20 a month, there's no better time to join the club. Visit clubcarwash.com and find a location nearest you. Guaranteed to keep the salt, grime, and snow and sleet off your car this year, but we're not worried about that today. I know they got a little freezing rain last night, some snow and ice back in Iowa, but things cleared up nicely by noon today. But either way, Club Car Wash is the next stop for you. All right, when we come back, I'm going to have my buddy boy, broadcast partner Ed Podolak, the former Iowa Great, Kansas City Chiefs Super Bowl champion, joins us next here from Orlando. Thanks for being here.
Right now, new and current customers can get any phone for free at U.S. Cellular. So you can connect with all your family members this holiday season, like your snowbird grandparents, your adorable nieces, or your favorite uncle. Just think, with any phone free from U.S. Cellular, you can even call your aunt, who always makes you talk to your cousin, who's a dog. Or, you know, maybe just send her a festive text. Everyone can get the gift of connection at U.S. Cellular. Get any phone free today. U.S. Cellular, built for us. Terms apply. Visit uscellular.com for details.
When it comes to your health, you need the full picture. That means the right diagnosis and the right treatment right from the start. I'm Aaron Bose, pediatric neurologist with University of Iowa Healthcare. Here, we're working together every day to advance medicine so you can get the best care. With more research, more clinical trials, and more treatment options than anywhere else in the state, the University of Iowa Healthcare is changing medicine and changing lives. Learn more at uihc.org.
If you've got the right tools and the friendly people at U.S. Bank in your corner, making smarter money choices is a piece of cake. If only our tools and helpful advisors could have helped you avoid some of those not-so-smart choices in life. Like that time you tried to pick up unicycling.
Whoa, coming through!
Or when you thought it'd be okay to pet that squirrel in the park.
Good squirrel, good squirrel.
While we can't help you with all that, we can help you bank smartly at usbank.com/smarter together. Member FDIC.
Hey Hawkeyes, this is Coach Kirk Ferentz. We work hard all year long to have the best season possible, just like Iowa's corn farmers do. At the University of Iowa, we celebrate our student athletes as well as our state's corn farmers. For all of us, it's the same. When you put in the hard work and give it your all, great things happen. Want to support Iowa's corn farmers? It's easy. Buy corn-fed meat, dairy, and eggs. Fill your cup with safe drinking water right from the tap and fuel your vehicle with homegrown unleaded 88. Let's go Hawks.
Bananas are only 39 cents a pound at Hy-Vee. That's not a sale price. That's the price with the Hy-Vee Perks membership. And 39 cents a pound is not just the price today or this week. It's the Perks price every day. With the Hy-Vee Perks membership, you can save on hundreds of products store-wide every time you shop and count on Perks prices to stay the same. So if you want to pay less for bananas every day, sign up for Hy-Vee Perks. It's free and easy. Some restrictions apply.
Let's be honest, we all like to be noticed. Picture yourself striding into Kinnick Stadium, radiating both style and comfort, while fellow Hawkeye fans can't help but ask, where'd you get that shirt? With pride, you point to the big screen and reply, it's Authentic Brand. Discover the remarkable difference that apparel with the Authentic Brand label brings. Ask for it by name at your favorite boutique, spirit shop, or retailer, or shop online at authentic-brand.com. It's time for a change in your style. It's time for Authentic Brand.
Welcome back to our Swarming to the Citrus Bowl special here on the Hawkeye Radio Network. You can catch us on the Iowa Hawkeye YouTube channel or anywhere throughout the Midwest on the Hawkeye Radio Network, led by our flagship stations WHO in Des Moines and WMT AM 600 in Cedar Rapids. Gary Dolphin with Eddie Buddy Boy Podolak. Let's welcome in my sidekick for the last 27 years, Ed Podolak. Buddy Boy, great to see you, man.
Nice to see it. Our 27th bowl game, too, isn't it? Well, we missed one in the middle, didn't we?
I think the first couple of years, Kirk said he'd like to forget about it.
I have forgotten about it.
Well, I always tell him, I said, look, we were 1-10 that first year. But had we gotten a bowl bid, we'd have outdrawn the other crowd, no matter who we played, because of these incredible Hawkeye fans here today and, of course, around the country. I've met people from Algona and Waukon and Burlington, Sheridan. We just had Joe from Chicago, Naperville. We got, as you know, a lot of good players out of Naperville.
And Atlantic. You got somebody here from Atlantic.
I just met somebody from Atlantic right here.
You know, I just found out, and I want to thank the Swarm for sponsoring this, but with NIL, you know, when I played at Iowa, we could only play 3 years. So I have another year of eligibility left. So I'm thinking about coming back, and you can meet me in the parking lot later this afternoon. Let's see if we can make a deal.
If anybody has any doubt, meet me in the parking lot. As you like to say, go out in the parking lot and warm up.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, Brad's here. Now, I'm wondering what kind of a salary or stipend that Ed Podolak would command. I mean, he's got his name on a stadium down in Kansas City on the ring. I saw, look, there's a Chiefs cap. There are Chiefs fans everywhere. The other night, I'm watching the Cowboys and the Dolphins. I think they're midway through the second half, and all of a sudden, it was Christmas Day. And they bring up Ed Podolak in the Christmas Day 1971 game, and they showed you running into the end zone. Pody still has the combined yardage record for one game in the National Football League, 380-some yards. That's running the ball, catching the ball, punt returns, and kick returns. And that game gets further in the rearview mirror, but I know you remember it like it was yesterday.
Well, I do, and I don't think anybody's going to break that record because they used to let me return punts, kickoffs, catch the ball, run the ball, pass the ball.
Who does that anymore?
Now they put in one guy to run, another guy to do kickoffs, another guy
punts.
Yeah, Hank Stram told me one time, what if I tried to keep running somebody in every other play for you? I'd say, what would you do? He said, come on, tell me what you do. I said, I'd give you the finger. And that's the way we played back then.
That was back in the 70s when the Chiefs, the Steelers, the Raiders. The Chargers, to a certain degree, owned professional football. The Packers won the first 2 Super Bowls and dominated in the mid to late 60s. And then that AFC West, with the Steelers being the exception, of course, really controlled the next decade.
Yeah, it started with the Jets.
Namath.
And that was in 3. We won 4. And then
Super Bowl 3, Super Bowl 4.
And the Raiders, who we had to play twice a year, oh boy, were they mean. And as our records went down, theirs went up. And so we used to beat them pretty good those first couple of years. But they helped me retire my last year because they pounded us into the ground.
Well, who wouldn't love to run into Jack Tatum or Ted the Mad Stork Hendricks or Lyle Alzado? You know, you were telling me one time when Lyle Alzado was playing that the forearm shiver was still legal, right?
Oh, yeah.
And he'd bring that right across the bridge of your nose. And
well, look at my nose.
You only broke it twice in one game, as I remember.
Yeah, well, you know, and that's when they didn't test players for drugs, too. I mean, Lyle Alzado, I mean, he could run the steps in the stadium after the game was over. He chased me into the parking lot one night after the game. So.
Well, and we were talking about this the other day. We've seen a lot of concussion protocols the last couple weeks. In games, both college and pro, and it's the equipment's different. The game is different, really, today than it was whether you're talking college or pro.
Well, our concussion protocol was our doctor was going to ask you 1 or 2 questions.
1 or 2? Okay.
Yeah, how many fingers am I holding up?
2.
Or what day is it?
Sunday.
So you'd lay in front of your locker before the game.
Yeah.
Before you got on the field, and you'd practice 2 Sunday. 2 Sunday. And then they'd take you off the field and they'd give you smelling salts.
Yeah.
And as soon as you could see you're at a football game, you go, put me in, Doc. And he'd go, how many fingers am I holding up? I go, Sunday. He said, close enough. Get in there.
Sunday, get in there.
That's made me a little goofy today.
Oh, man. Well, that big fellow that was roaming around that Jim Lachey.
Yeah.
Jim Lachey, whose son Luke plays for the Hawkeyes. Jim, I don't know if he's still here or not, but he was one of the greatest players ever at Ohio State, All-American lineman, #1 draft pick of the San Diego Chargers. Never played with the Chargers. They traded him to the Hogs when they called them the Hogs, the Washington Redskins. And Jim was a famed member of the Hogs. They went on. Joe Gibbs won, I think, 3 or 4 Super Bowls with those Redskin teams. And many Big Ten players are starring today in the National Football League. Of course, we always want to think of tight ends, you know, Hawkinson and Kittle and Noah Fant and Dallas Clark before them. But then you see, Brendan Sheriff having a great career as a down lineman. Emir Smith-Marset making waves. The Hawkeyes have, once again, I think they were 3rd in the Big Ten in the total number of players in the league this year. And
well, the MVP this year is going to be the quarterback. And who's the center that snaps him the ball on every play?
That would be Tyler Linderbaum.
Yeah.
With the Baltimore Ravens. And a buddy of mine, a good friend of mine, is the agent for John Harbaugh, Coach Harbaugh in Baltimore. And he was watching a game in Baltimore a few weeks ago, and Harbaugh came up to him. He said, hey, so-and-so, can you send me 15 more Tyler Linderbaums? He said he is a smaller version, not much, but a smaller version of Marshall Yanda. And boy, you think about that. All the great players that have come out of Iowa, and many of them on the present team, which we're going to talk about now. And those that opted back in this week. How about that? Jay Higgins, Luke Lachey, still waiting on Nick Jackson and, Cooper, DeJean, Quinn Schulte. There are others, but 2 big gets this week for the Hawks.
Well, you know, that you couldn't go out and sign a kid to come in and play and take those spaces. Those guys have been tremendous performers, And we think Jay Higgins waited for 4 years
to start, to play. Yeah.
And he leads the Big Ten in tackles. Of course, he played behind Jack Campbell. I mean, I guess, you know.
Seth Benson, Jack Campbell. But boy, you talk about patience being a virtue. Jay waited, and he feels the NFL can wait one more year. And he's number 2 in the country in tackles now. He has 155. Nick Jackson has 99. Well, why wouldn't Nick come back to make his 100th tackle?
I hope he does. We've interviewed him after the game.
Yeah, he's a great young guy.
And, we said, I remember after interviewing him, you should be a coach. He said, well, I'm studying athletic coaching in college.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Well, Iowa's been blessed with many great linebackers down through the years, and the next great one is Jay Higgins. And I caught up with Jay after practice on Thursday.
Getting closer to Coach Wallace, obviously, I respect everything he's taught me and the linebacker he turned me into. And, I just felt that, one more year I could come back and be better than I was this year. And I feel I could be a better football player under Coach Parker and Coach Wallace. So that's why I made my decision.
Well, that's a defense that I know you've grown to love. And, boy, you waited for your chance and made the most of it. What is it about Phil Parker's defense that is so engaging?
I just say how disciplined the players are. We just try to go out there and do our job. It's nothing more, nothing less, and it's a lot of guys out there who understand what it means to play for Coach Parker. He gets the best out of his players, and just upholding the standards, a big thing that we focus on. And I just feel like a lot of guys, we appreciate the time he puts into us, so we try to give it back to him in our play.
Yeah, and Kinnick Stadium's grown to love Jay Higgins.
Yes, sir. It was good to see the love that Campbell got, and obviously he was hardworking and well deserving of that. But just for me to step into this new role, it's been pretty fun.
So, in conclusion, what do you see with Tennessee on tape and in practice for the big game on Monday?
Yeah, obviously they like to spread the ball out. They're going to run a lot of plays, high tempo. Luckily for us, we've had our fair share of high tempo teams and no huddle teams, and I feel like we did a good job with our scheduling because we kind of looked like we were prepared for this. But just happy to face another challenge, another opponent. It's important to us to get that 11th win.
You wonder why he's such a good football player. Just listen to him articulate philosophy and the way he plays the game, and his love for Seth Wallace, the Iowa linebacker coach, and Phil Parker. And, oh, by the way, Wallace is the co-defensive coordinator, associate defensive coordinator for Phil Parker. If ever there's two birds that think alike, it's those two.
Well, and for sure, he is Phil Parker's designated screamer now. Because before he got here, Phil had to do all the screaming at the defense in practice. And once Seth showed up, he takes over. It used to be Phil had no voice by the 5th game, and now he's okay with it because, I hate to break this to people, but coaches scream at players in practice.
They do. They do get a little upset once in a while, don't they?
I don't know if that's abuse or anything, but they do.
Child abuse? I don't think so. I think the players love it, and they respond to it, and they play better because of it. And that's why they recruit their guys to fit their system. We've seen this for a lot longer than 27 years now, whether it was Bill Brazier or Phil Parker. It's a real thrill to watch this Iowa defense. They've given up 13.2 points a game this year. That's the lowest points allowed total per game since 2008. And I dare say it's top 5 in the country. They're top 5 in most statistical categories. So we'll talk more defense in a little bit. We'll also hear from some of the offensive players on this football team. Iowa 10-3, Tennessee 8-4. The Hawkeyes won the Big Ten West. Tennessee finished at 4-4 in the SEC East. And let me add in, their 4 losses were to Alabama, Georgia, Georgia, Missouri. All 3 of those were top 10 ranked teams at the time they played, and Florida. So they've lost to 4 really good programs, but that doesn't mean anything to the Hawkeyes. They'll show up. It'll be a great game tomorrow. I think it's going to be a low-scoring game for a variety of reasons, but let's hope Deacon the Beacon can put a couple touchdown drives together and our kicking game. And we haven't even talked about Torrey Taylor yet, or Drew Stevens and others, but we will when we come back. We got 90 minutes to fill, so be patient. Your favorite Hawkeyes coming up soon here on our Swarming to the Citrus Bowl special, sponsored by Bud Light, proud sponsor of Hawkeye Athletics. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. And we're back to Orlando, the Big O. Yeah, I grew up loving the Big O. Who am I talking about? Oscar Robertson, one of the greatest players ever to bounce a basketball. This is a very attractive Big O to Orlando. We're at the Point Pub. Stop in if you're in downtown, or if you're in Orlando, anywhere near International Drive. We'd love to see you. Back in a minute on this special edition of Hawk Talk, courtesy of the Swarm Collective.
Contractors, you're busier than ever this fall, but you've got this with high-quality building materials from Spahn & Rose, like GAF. Use the Spahn & Rose Visualizer to plan the perfect roof and blend an elegant architectural look with exceptional performance. GAF, we protect what matters the most. With several Spahn & Rose locations nearby, you can focus on life's other important things this fall. Spahn & Rose, buy easier, build better.
Can you think of anything that costs the same today as it did 10 years ago? There isn't much. That is, unless you're a Mid-American Energy customer. Thanks to all the renewable energy we're generating, our customers pay nearly the same rate for electricity today as they did back when we were all singing, "Call Me Maybe." And with Mid-American making even more investments in clean energy, you can count on enjoying those same affordable rates for the next decade. Now that's obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
If you've got the right tools and the friendly people at U.S. Bank in your corner, making smarter money choices is a piece of cake. If only our tools and helpful advisors could have helped you avoid some of those not-so-smart choices in life. Like that time you tried to pick up unicycling.
Whoa, coming through!
Or when you thought it'd be okay to pet that squirrel in the park.
Good squirrel, good squirrel.
While we can't help you with all that, we can help you bank smartly at usbank.com/smartertogether. Member FDIC.
Right now, new and current customers can get any phone for free at U.S. Cellular. So you can connect with all your family members this holiday season, like your snowbird grandparents, your adorable nieces, or your favorite uncle. Just think, with any phone free from U.S. Cellular, you can even call your aunt, who always makes you talk to your cousin, who's a dog. Or, maybe just send her a festive text. Everyone can get the gift of connection at U.S. Cellular. Get any phone free today. U.S. Cellular, built for us. Terms apply. Visit uscellular.com for details.
Hey Hawkeyes, this is Coach Kirk Ferentz. We work hard all year long to have the best season possible, just like Iowa's corn farmers do. At the University of Iowa, we celebrate our student athletes as well as our state's corn farmers. For all of us, it's the same. When you put in the hard work and give it your all, great things happen. Want to support Iowa's corn farmers? It's easy. Buy corn-fed meat, dairy, and eggs. Fill your cup with safe drinking water right from the tap, and fuel your vehicle with homegrown unleaded 88. Let's go Hawks.
When the game goes into overtime. But the game goes into overtime. The choice to enjoy is easy. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Order Bud Light online today. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Welcome back to Swarming at the Citrus. I'm Gary Dolphin. Ed Podolak will join us again in just a little bit. We're hearing from some of the Hawkeye players and coaches who are involved in the big game tomorrow, the Citrus Bowl, the Cheez-It Citrus Bowl. They have been just wonderful hosts all week long to the Hawkeyes and to the Tennessee Volunteers. Again, that's a noon kickoff here on the Hawkeye Radio Network with our pregame coverage starting at 10 a.m. And we'll be on the air 2 hours to get you ready for the big game. And, of course, our postgame coverage will include our star of the game, our Old Dominion best in the game, courtesy of Old Dominion Freight Lines. And we'll hear from Coach Ferentz and Coach Heupel as well. So big day of broadcasting the Hawkeyes tomorrow to start the new year, like seemingly we do every year. We caught up with Nico Reganey. Nico's having a terrific season. He's battled injuries his entire career at Iowa, and he had some insightful comments we thought earlier this week about what it's been for him to be a Hawkeye.
To be completely honest, I think this is the most fun year I've had as an Iowa football player. Before this year, I was a little bit worried about if I would enjoy it because I'm so old and a lot of my friends left. So I was stressing out about it at first, but all the things that this team has overcome, and it's been really fun to be a part of, you know? I mean, obviously we lost like some of our best players, but to still go 10-2 or whatever we went is pretty special, you know? So I've had a lot of fun this year. I feel like the brotherhood on this team is pretty strong. We've all stuck together in such a crazy season. It just goes to show how much we care for each other.
So when you very honest assessment by Nico Reganey, at least from his perspective. He's got 29 catches, a 9-yard average. Hopefully he gets his first touchdown tomorrow. He's a great young guy, wonderful family out of East Haven, Connecticut. And then there's the man from down under, Tory Taylor, the Ray Guy Award punt award winner, the best punter in America. He is going to set the record tomorrow for the career best average for a punter. The current record is 42.5 yards, and going into tomorrow, Tory's at 46.2 yards per punt. Those are Ray Guy, Reggie Roby type numbers, and he's got other records, but he spoke about the adulation. All the hardware means nothing without having great teammates.
Yeah, I don't really pay too much attention to all those records and things like that, but it's one of those things that I was kind of thinking, you know, we punt a lot, no one else punts as much as we do. It's probably one of those things that I'll have for quite a while. Hopefully Reese doesn't break it next year, but yeah, it's obviously pretty special to kind of go down in the record books as something like that, but I really don't focus on that stuff too much. You know, people keep saying, oh, all you got to get is 20 yards. Well, what if I shank it 18 yards out of bounds? I still don't have it, do I?
There he is. A young lad from Melbourne, Australia. Who is he going to be making a lot of money next year on Sunday? Good for him. He's earned it. Tory Taylor. He's got an average that's his career average is 46.2. Right now, his average is 48 yards a punt. And that's half a stadium, half a football field. Tory Taylor has he's kicked a total of 50 plus, almost 80 punts. With a long of 67, and roughly half of those have died inside the 20 or the 10-yard line. He is as much effective for his ball placement as he is for his distance. And it's going to be fun to watch him one more time in a Hawkeye uniform tomorrow. We're at Orlando. We're at the pub on the Point here in Orlando, and we're here until 2:30 this afternoon, Iowa time, 3:30 Eastern time. And then we're going to be moving down the plaza for the big Hawk Huddle. So we hope you'll all shift on down that way. Certainly leave some heavy tips for our wonderful wait staff here today at the pub. Let's give them a hand. How about a big, nice round of applause for our bartenders and our waitresses and waiters here at the pub. I like that sign. It wasn't a fair catch call. Go Hawkeyes. I didn't think that had come up at all today. I wish Cooper was here to see that, although I'm sure he's seen it. I'm sure he saw it behind home plate in game whatever it was of the World Series with the guy holding up that sign. But it was interesting to say the least. You know, the Hawks won their last 4 games and 7 of their last 8. And, yeah, it should have been 8 straight. But we'll move on, okay? We're brought to you today, our special Hawk Talk program from Orlando in advance of the Cheez-It Citrus Bowl, sponsored by our friends at U.S. Cellular. U.S. Cellular is built for the Hawkeyes. They're built for great interceptions and better reception, watching touchdowns instead of touch screens, and waving before streaming. After all, game day only comes once a week. U.S. Cellular is built for us. Listening to Tory Taylor, we will have LeVar Woods on our pregame show tomorrow. LeVar talks poignantly about Tory, and he also talks about the new Aussie punter coming in that they signed in this most recent recruiting period. Reese, R-H-Y-S is his first name. But LeVar talks about not only that, the punting game and the kicking game, but also about Cooper DeJean. So I think you'll find his comments very interesting tomorrow on our Hawkeye pregame show that starts again at 10 o'clock. All right, we'll step out, take another break, come back to the point for more of our Hawk Talk special from Orlando. The Hawks and the Tennessee Volunteers getting ready to square off at noon tomorrow in the Citrus Bowl. Back after this.
How do you become America's best-selling brand? Let's break it down. Innovative tech means smarter and safer driving. Intelligent all-wheel drive will keep you ready for anything. And built Ford tough trucks will always get the job done. Plus, come into your local Ford store today and get super low APR financing, big cash back, and great lease offers on Ford's full line of cars, trucks, and SUVs. That's Ford, and that's how you become America's best-selling brand. Sales claim based on calendar year sales.
Can you think of anything that costs the same today as it did 10 years ago? There isn't much. That is, unless you're a Mid-American Energy customer. Thanks to all the renewable energy we're generating, our customers pay nearly the same rate for electricity today as they did back when we were all singing, "Call Me Maybe." And with Mid-American making even more investments in clean energy, you can count on enjoying those same affordable rates for the next decade. Now that's obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
I'm Ingrid Lizarraga, breast surgeon at the University of Iowa Holden Comprehensive Cancer Center, the state's only NCI-designated cancer center. Here, we look beyond just the type of cancer you have to discover the molecular details of the disease. We have teams dedicated to each cancer type, with treatments and trials you won't find anywhere else in Iowa. Go to uihc.org/cancer.
Hey Hawkeyes, this is Coach Kirk Ferentz. We work hard all year long to have the best season possible, just like Iowa's corn farmers do. At the University of Iowa, we celebrate our student athletes as well as our state's corn farmers. For all of us, it's the same. When you put in the hard work and give it your all, great things happen. Want to support Iowa's corn farmers? It's easy. Buy corn-fed meat, dairy, and eggs. Fill your cup with safe drinking water right from the tap and fuel your vehicle with homegrown unleaded 88. Let's go Hawks.
Do you want to play an integral part in helping the Hawks win championships? Now is your chance to make a difference. Join the Swarm today and partner with Iowa football and the Iowa men's and women's basketball programs to serve charities in eastern Iowa. Your tax-deductible Swarm donation will compensate our Iowa student athletes for working to further the missions of local charities such as the United Way, Big Brothers and Big Sisters, and more. Go to iowaswarm.com for more information and make Iowa athletics the place for our student athletes to experience the thrill of winning championships.
If you or someone you know is having thoughts of suicide, experiencing a mental health or substance use crisis, or just need someone to listen, 988 provides a direct connection to free, confidential, and compassionate support. When you call, text, or chat 988, you'll be quickly connected to trained crisis counselors who will listen to your concerns, provide support, and connect you to additional resources if needed. There is hope. You are not alone. For 24/7 support, call or text 988 or chat 988lifeline.org.
Welcome back to our Swarming at the Citrus. Gary Dauphin, our special Hawk Talk edition. Ed Podolak will be rejoining us shortly. We're here at the point at the pub. The pub at the point. I had it reversed, but you know what I'm saying. The pub at the point here in Orlando. It's right at the almost the entryway into the hot spots of International Drive, the restaurants, the shops, the hotels. We've had a wonderful 4 or 5 days here. Folks have been coming in since, Thursday on. And a couple of large plane loads arrived last night. And so it's great to see the Hawks all huddled in one town. We're going to hear from Cooper DeJean and Cade McNamara next here in just a minute. But we want to thank the Swarm Collective for hosting us here on this beautiful afternoon. It's about 70 degrees, 65, 70 degrees here in Orlando. And we thank the Swarm, Jane Oswald and Brad Heinrichs for their support. And if you love hearing the Hawkeye Victory Polka, now's your chance to put the Hawks on top while also helping local charities throughout eastern Iowa. Go to iowaswarm.com. We've had a number of folks sign up to support Iowa's NIL cause already today. You can too. Join the Swarm, be an extra special part of what the Hawks do. All right, I gathered Cade McNamara and Cooper DeJean together after practice the other day and asked them to balance the disappointment of not being in uniform tomorrow. And Cade's been out since the third or fourth game of the season, fourth or fifth maybe, perhaps, but Cooper's been out the last 3 games, and obviously they're both going to miss tomorrow, and you'll hear Cade McNamara first.
You know, it's definitely a mental challenge on help coaching the guys while also balancing like your own, you know, battles of not being able to play. And, you know, I think, you know, the culture of this team and the quality of the dudes we have makes that easy. It makes it so, you know, it makes it coming to practice fun. And, you know, at the end of the day, we're still part of the team and we have to do our role. And our role right now is to help out the guys and help coach and do whatever we possibly can.
How encouraged are you with Deacon's improvement from day one till now?
I'm very encouraged. I mean, he's gotten so much better from camp, and then, you know, once I got knocked out of the game, he's just grown so much, and, you know, he's really helped this team.
Coop, we know, like Cade, a heck of a competitor. This has to be teeth grinding for you these last few weeks.
Yeah, definitely sucks. You know, going through most of the season and then, you know, not being able to finish it out with these guys, you know, after everything we've been through, all the adversity, stuff like that, you know, it's tough not to be able to finish it out one more time with them. But it's been a fun time down here, you know, just being around the guys, being at practice, trying to coach them up, helping in any way I can.
It's got to be encouraging to see the development of Deshaun Lee.
Yeah, it's been great, and other young guys as well. You know, that have stepped in, you know, to try and get better over this bowl prep and down here in Orlando. It's been really fun to see.
Cooper DeJean and Cade McNamara. I would like to see both of them come back next year, but Cooper, I think he's in pretty good shape, regardless of whatever decision he makes here in the coming weeks or coming months, whether it's come back to Iowa. I know he loves being at Iowa, and you know, when he surveys the landscape and see who's coming back next year, both offensively and defensively, it's pretty appetizing, that's for sure. But he'll make the right decision, he and his family and the people that are closest to him. We know Cade McNamara will be back next year. We know that now that Luke Lachey, Addison Estringa, Steve Stylianos, Johnny Pascuzzi, they've all given great account of themselves in the absence of Lachey and Eric All. I do believe Eric All can come back. He does have a year if he accepts it, decides to take it. But we wish them all the best in their judgment and their decision making there. Hawks in Tennessee, that's here and now. Tomorrow at noon. Iowa time, 1 o'clock Eastern time. This afternoon from 3:30 until 4:45, 5 o'clock, we'll be down the way, just down the way for the special Hawkeye Huddle, New Year's Eve Day Hawkeye Huddle, and you're all invited to come on down there. It's going to be a fun, festive atmosphere. We'll have some special guests. The band will be there. President Wilson and Athletic Director Getz will be there. And then, which has become a neat tradition, we will introduce the players' parents. We'll have each of the players' parents come up on stage, and we'll get to know them or put a face with the name, so to speak. It's always a lot of fun at the bowl game when we get to meet the parents face to face. Our program today, Swarming to the Citrus, is brought to you by Quickstar. Hawk fans, you can drive your team to a win this season by filling up with unleaded 88 with quick rewards at any Quickstar location. Fuel up with 8 gallons or more of unleaded 88 and you'll be automatically entered for a chance to win great prize packages throughout the season. Quickstar, proud partner of Hawkeye football. And we're sponsored by Iowa Corn throughout the Iowa Corn Cyhawk series. Iowa Corn promotes honest, hard-working values that are uniquely Iowan. Iowa's corn farmers salute all athletes for their hard work and determination to be the best both on and off the field. Just like our top athletes, Iowa's farmers lead the nation in corn and ethanol production. How many farmers do we have here this afternoon in the crowd? Okay, I see 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 hands, 12. Okay, we got a dozen good, tough, rough Iowa farmers. And, of course, your hard work has been put in now for 2023, despite the lack of moisture around Iowa and around the Midwest. But farmers always find a way, as does Iowa Corn. Follow Iowa Corn on Facebook to learn how corn grows Iowa. All right, when we come back, more from Orlando as we continue to preview Hawk Talk on our Hawk Talk special from Orlando here at the pub at the Point, Iowa and the Tennessee matchup tomorrow at noon. This is Hawk Talk from Learfield. You find.
Can you think of anything that costs the same today as it did 10 years ago? There isn't much. That is, unless you're a Mid-American Energy customer. Thanks to all the renewable energy we're generating, our customers pay nearly the same rate for electricity today as they did back when we were all singing, "Call Me Maybe." And with Mid-American making even more investments in clean energy, you can count on enjoying those same affordable rates for the next decade. Now that's obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
If you've got the right tools and the friendly people at U.S. Bank in your corner, making smarter money choices is a piece of cake. If only our tools and helpful advisors could have helped you avoid some of those not-so-smart choices in life. Like that time you tried to pick up unicycling.
Whoa, coming through!
Or when you thought it'd be okay to pet that squirrel in the park.
Good squirrel, good squirrel.
While we can't help you with all that, we can help you bank smartly at usbank.com/smarter together. Member FDIC.
When the game goes into overtime. But the game goes into overtime. The choice to enjoy is easy. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Order Bud Light online today. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
When it comes to your health, you need the full picture. That means the right diagnosis and the right treatment right from the start. I'm Aaron Bose, pediatric neurologist with University of Iowa Healthcare. Here, we're working together every day to advance medicine so you can get the best care. With more research, more clinical trials, and more treatment options than anywhere else in the state, the University of Iowa Healthcare is changing medicine and changing lives. Learn more at uihc.org.
Do you want to play an integral part in helping the Hawks win championships? Now is your chance to make a difference. Join the Swarm today and partner with Iowa football and the Iowa men's and women's basketball programs to serve charities in eastern Iowa. Your tax-deductible Swarm donation will compensate our Iowa student athletes for working to further the missions of local charities such as the United Way, Big Brothers and Big Sisters, and more. Go to iowaswarm.com for more information and make Iowa athletics the place for our student athletes to experience the thrill of winning championships.
Right now, new and current customers can get any phone for free at U.S. Cellular. So you can connect with all your family members this holiday season, like your snowbird grandparents, your adorable nieces, or your favorite uncle. Just think, with any phone free from U.S. Cellular, you could even call your aunt who always makes you talk to your cousin, who's a dog. Or, maybe just send her a festive text. Everyone can get the gift of connection at U.S. Cellular. Get any phone free today. U.S. Cellular, built for us. Terms apply. Visit uscellular.com for details.
Welcome back to Orlando. Our special Hawk Talk New Year's Bowl talk is courtesy of our friends at the Swarm Collective. More about that in just a minute. Iowa, Tennessee tomorrow at 2 o'clock here on the Hawkeye Radio Network. 2 o'clock, noon Iowa time, 1 o'clock Eastern time. We'll be on the air at 10 o'clock Iowa time with our 2-hour pregame show when you'll hear from a lot of the Hawks players and coaches and athletic director gets and beyond. Right now, let's pause 10 seconds for station identification around the Hawkeye Radio Network back home in the Midwest. 10-second ID break. You're listening to our Citrus Bowl Hawk Talk special. Happy New Year to everybody. Our wonderful 55 stations strong on the Hawkeye Radio Network. One of them, WHO in Des Moines. I was reading a story last night. WHO will turn 100 in 2024. So you think about that. 1924, when the Big 1040 with the Hoot Owl first came on the air. I think Zabel was doing games then, wasn't he, Eddie? I think Jim... He was the Energizer buddy. That guy had more battery power than, well, not more than this young lady we're going to talk to now. Jane Oswald is a vice president for the Swarm Collective, long-time director of the University of Iowa I Club, the fundraisers, the functions, the travel. We traveled hundreds of thousands of miles, Jane, over 25 years before you left for the Swarm, and those were fun days. These are fun times.
It's a great time to be a Hawkeye, Dolph.
Yeah, either way. So how are things going with the Swarm? I know it's in its infancy yet, but what, is it a year old yet or less?
About 18 months. It's going
about
fantastic.
A year and a half.
Yep.
Time flies.
It does.
Well, that's good. And judging by this crowd today, they're very tuned in with what the Swarm means to Iowa athletics.
For sure, for sure. We've got a great group of supporters, but we could always use more. We want everybody on the Swarm bandwagon to help us create great teams with the coaches. And
as we've witnessed today, you've made it easy for people to join. Talk about how they can sign up.
Yeah, it's super easy. iowaswarm.com/join. We've got some great membership options that people can join on a monthly or annual basis, and it gives you a great opportunity for the inside scoop on what some of our athletes are doing, interviews, some great events like these, and a great way to help us continue to help build our programs.
And it's set up as a nonprofit.
It is. It's a 501c3 nonprofit, so all your gifts are tax deductible, and then we take those gifts and we're able to pay our athletes for service in the community. So we partnered with over 40 to 50 nonprofits in the eastern Iowa area and are doing great things in the community to help support.
That's what I like about it. It gives the athletes who may not have a chance till they're well into adulthood, gives them a chance to touch and feel and support people in need at a young age.
Exactly. It gives them the opportunity to meet their fans in the community and do some good, play with the children, help at the food banks, visit schools. They attend Make-A-Wish events, Big Brothers Big Sisters, Bowl for Kids' Sake, all sorts of things.
Yeah, those are all wonderful organizations indeed. The other component I like is that there aren't a lot of people that can write out a check for $1,000 and put it in your pocket for future use. But so I like the fact that you can send a monthly $20, $25. If you want to write out a check for $1,000 or $500,000, feel free to do so, or $100. But it's nice that folks of all income levels, income streams, can help support the Swarm.
Exactly. Every little bit helps. It all adds up and makes a big impact, not only with our student athletes, but in the community as well.
And what's your prediction on the game tomorrow?
We're going to win.
Okay, we're going to win. I like it. Go to iowaswarm.com and join Iowa Swarm. Thanks, Jane. Appreciate your hospitality here today. All right, we're at the top of the hour. We'll step out, take a break. When we come back, you're going to hear a U.S. Bank scoreboard update. We'll hear from more players. We'll get you caught up on the National Football League scores that are going on today. And all that's ahead for the next half hour. Some folks from Cedar Rapids and Burlington and Davenport and the Quad Cities just came up. I met the Van Wetsinga family from the Quad Cities. They have a son on the team right now, and another one coming. And man, is he a player! Okay, Rusty Van Wetsinga is on the team right now. He's a freshman, a 250-pounder from Pleasant Valley. He's one of the next great fullbacks or offensive hulks that will be lining up in that backfield, or perhaps at an H-back position going forward. Back with more from our friends here at the pub at the Point in Orlando as we count it down to the Citrus Bowl tomorrow. This is Hawk Talk from Learfield.
I'm Ingrid Lizarraga, breast surgeon at the University of Iowa Holden Comprehensive Cancer Center, the state's only NCI-designated cancer center. Here, we look beyond just the type of cancer you have to discover the molecular details of the disease. We have teams dedicated to each cancer type, with treatments and trials you won't find anywhere else in Iowa. Go to uihc.org/cancer.
Contractors, you're busier than ever this fall, but you've got this with high-quality building materials from Spahn & Rose, like GAF. Use the Spahn & Rose Visualizer to plan the perfect roof and blend an elegant architectural look with exceptional performance. GAF, we protect what matters the most. With several Spahn & Rose locations nearby, you can focus on life's other important things this fall. Spahn & Rose, buy easier, build better.
When the game goes into overtime. But the game goes into overtime. The choice to enjoy is easy. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Order Bud Light online today. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Right now, new and current customers can get any phone for free at US Cellular. So you can connect with all your family members this holiday season, like your snowbird grandparents, your adorable nieces, or your favorite uncle. Just think, with any phone free from US Cellular, you could even call your aunt who always makes you talk to your cousin, who's a dog. Or, maybe just send her a festive text. Everyone can get the gift of connection at US Cellular. Get any phone free today. US Cellular, built for us. Terms apply. Visit uscellular.com for details.
Hey Hawkeyes, this is Coach Kirk Ferentz. We work hard all year to have the best season possible, just like Iowa's corn farmers do. Please support Iowa's corn farmers by purchasing corn-fed meat, dairy, and eggs. Drink safe water from the tap and fuel your vehicle with homegrown unleaded 88. You might think Iowa just grows corn, but the truth is, corn grows Iowa. Go Hawks.
Can you think of anything that costs the same today as it did 10 years ago? There isn't much. That is, unless you're a Mid-American Energy customer. Thanks to all the renewable energy we're generating, our customers pay nearly the same rate for electricity today as they did back when we were all singing, "Call Me Maybe." And with Mid-American making even more investments in clean energy, you can count on enjoying those same affordable rates for the next decade. Now that's obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
We're back in Orlando. Beautiful day in Central Florida. Welcome to all of you back home in the Midwest listening in on the Hawkeye Radio Network. Iowa, Tennessee in the Citrus Bowl tomorrow at high noon Iowa time. Our pregame coverage starts at 10 o'clock Central. How about a nice Hawkeye welcome for Athletic Director Beth Getz. Ladies and gentlemen, Hawk fans, this is typical. These people love to travel with their Hawkeyes.
Well, that's definitely what I've experienced over my short time here. But wherever the Hawks are, our Hawkeye fans are sure to follow.
You've been busy, to say the least, since you arrived in town a few days back. A lot of dinners, and as Ed Podolak likes to say, a lot of gripping and grinning. Meeting great Hawk fans, and hopefully a lot of great, wonderful supporters of the program.
Well, the Citrus Bowl has done just an incredible job. We're grateful to the hotel staff. I know the team and Coach Ferentz and everybody enjoyed their experience last time. Are doing so as well. So it's been great to be down here for a few days. But as we've seen more and more Tiger Hawks as we walk around, it's been even better. So excited that game day's almost here.
I saw President Wilson walk in. You'll both be down with me at the Hawkeye Huddle here in an hour and a half or so. And most of this human traffic jam will head that way, and we'll have fun. And that's always a hit too. I know you're looking forward to that.
We are. Again, anytime you can get our passionate fan base together, it's just incredible, and it's a great time to celebrate this victory, but also to thank all of you for your support all year long, for all you do, buying tickets, supporting the Swarm, supporting our other philanthropic needs. We couldn't have the success that our teams are having, certainly our football program, but all of them without our great fan base. And so it's so fun to celebrate these moments with you, and hopefully another bowl victory to end the year. That would be nice. The Hawks are 10-9 in bowl games under Coach Ferentz, of course. 36 bowls. That's a lofty record, a lofty total. I saw you taking a peek at Caitlin Clark and the Hawkeye women yesterday. That was another phenomenal performance by. That's all you got to do is just say her name. Caitlin by the way, that's the whole show, right? Another double-double or a triple-double, one or the other, but she is something. It doesn't matter now if she's double or triple teamed. She finds a way to find a teammate or hit a logo three. She sure doesn't. We're going to run out of records for her to break, but she's been phenomenal, and her teammates have been phenomenal. So what Coach Bluter's done is just been amazing. But watching her journey and their willingness to take all of us along with them is something special. So we just want to soak in and enjoy every moment we have with that group. Yeah, Coach McCaffrey and the guys had a big win against Northern Illinois. And we'll hit the road to Madison on Tuesday when we get back for the Big Ten all the time, all the way to the end now, huh? It is. We're ready to roll. Ready to roll. And I wasn't there, obviously, but I heard the soldier salute by the Iowa wrestlers, the men and women, at the Extreme Arena back in the Coralville River Landing
was a resounding success over the holidays, over this holiday, and congratulations to Coach Brands and Coach Clarissa Chun.
When both teams are standing next to a championship trophy, that's a good thing, and I know they had a packed house there at Extreme Arena, and Josh does a great job hosting that event, and disappointing to have to miss it, but we're going to get a chance to see both those programs back in Carver here soon.
A lot going forward in terms of dual meets for the Hawkeyes. Great to see you. We'll see you in a little while down the road.
Looking forward to it.
All right. Thanks, Beth.
Thanks, Gary.
Beth Getz, Hawkeye Athletic Director. Appreciate her stopping by. All right, now that U.S. Bank scoreboard that I promised you. Let's start with the National Football League. Baltimore routing the Miami Dolphins 35-13. These are all second half scores, by the way. The Buffalo Bills 27, the New England Patriots 14. Sounds like Micah Hyde and A.J. Epinesa are having a good day in Buffalo. I saw, as Hayden used to call him, Epi squared. Dad, Epinesa was at the hotel or down the street at one of the local pubs. The Bears 24, the Falcons 10. That's in the third quarter. It's the Colts and the Raiders hooked up in a good one, 17-10. Indianapolis leads. Again, these are all second half scores. The Jaguars on top of Carolina. That's 19-0. I think C.J. Beathard started that game today, if I'm not mistaken. The Texans lead the Titans 23-3. So Houston on top of Tennessee. The Rams edging the Giants at 20-16. The Eagles and the Cardinals are tied at 21. The Saints are shutting out the Buccaneers 20-0. The 49ers have doubled up the Commanders. San Francisco 20, Washington 10. Later, the Steelers at Seattle. The Chiefs, Ed Podolak's Chiefs, host the red-hot Cincinnati Bengals. The Chargers are in Denver, and the Green Bay Packers and the Vikings play Sunday night football. So there you have. We'll check college basketball just to make sure there isn't a major game involving a Big Ten team going on this afternoon. Our scoreboards all season long are brought to you by our friends at U.S. Bank, member FDIC. If you or someone you know needs support right now, call or text 988 or chat 988lifeline.org. That's call or text 988 or chat 988lifeline.org. All right, Ed Podolak rejoins me next, and we'll take it to the end of the program for the next 20 minutes talking the matchups, Iowa-Tennessee tomorrow. You won't want to miss this. This is Hawk Talk from the pub at the Point from Learfield.
When the game goes into overtime. But the game goes into overtime. The choice to enjoy is easy. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Order Bud Light online today. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Does your company attire make you feel like you're always fourth and long? It's time for a change. Hand the ball off to Authentic Brand and watch your team transform into MVPs. On game days, our team dresses like champions in Authentic Brand. Ensure that your company's reputation remains untarnished by using nothing but the label specifically designed to display your company's identity. Ask your supplier for Authentic Brand products and see for yourself why it's more than just a label. It's a statement.
Are aches, pains, or injuries keeping you on the sidelines? At Athletico, our movement experts are here to help you turn your setbacks into comebacks and create a personalized game plan for your recovery. With no prescription or referral needed, Athletico Physical Therapy is where your comeback story begins. Get started today by scheduling a free assessment at athletico.com. Proud partner of the Iowa Hawkeyes.
How do you become America's best-selling brand? Let's break it down. Innovative tech means smarter and safer driving. Intelligent all-wheel drive will keep you ready for anything. And built Ford tough trucks will always get the job done. Plus, come into your local Ford store today and get super low APR financing, big cash back, and great lease offers on Ford's full line of cars, trucks, and SUVs. That's Ford, and that's how you become America's best-selling brand. Sales claim based on calendar year sales.
If you or someone you know is having thoughts of suicide, experiencing a mental health or substance use crisis, or just need someone to listen, 988 provides a direct connection to free, confidential, and compassionate support. When you call, text, or chat 988, you'll be quickly connected to trained crisis counselors who will listen to your concerns, provide support, and connect you to additional resources if needed. There is hope. You are not alone. For 24/7 support, call or text 988 or chat 988lifeline.org.
All right, we're back for the stretch run here in our Hawk Talk Bowl special from Orlando. It's Iowa. It's Tennessee tomorrow afternoon at high noon here on the Hawkeye Radio Network with our pregame coverage starting at 10. And if you're in the crowd, it's 88.7. Is that right, Corey? Corey Sheets, my engineer producer, wanted to mention if you're going to be at the game and you got your headsets, tune into FM channel 88.7. 88.7. And you can listen to our call while you watch the game at the beautifully remodeled Citrus Bowl, courtesy of Cheez-It. And the Pop-Tart Bowl was held there the other night. Eddie Podolak is back with us. K-State, our old buddy Gene Taylor, who's the athletic director at Kansas State, used to be, here come the Keel family. Great to see Bobby and Riverside Casino's well represented here.
They've probably been playing golf today.
So. Bobby, did you play golf today? Yeah, of course he did. Got Mom, and thanks to the Keel family for their support of the Hawkeyes and certainly the Hawkeye Radio Network. What was I just talking about? Doesn't matter.
Hawkeye football.
Thank you for getting me back on square one.
There you go.
Well, let's talk a little offense. The much maligned Hawkeye offense all season long. It seems like every twist and turn they run into a roadblock, whether it's injuries and experience. Quarterback blows a knee. Two best pass catchers go down for the season. But they've regrouped. They're running. I think the inside, the middle run, guard to guard, has been the key to that offense here during this winning streak.
Well, and we had a lot of injuries. I mean, like Logan Jones didn't even play 2 or 3 games in a row. I mean, he's the center. He makes things work. But Tyler Ellsbury did a good job filling in.
He sure did. Tyler Ellsbury's from Sean Considine's hometown, Byron, Illinois. And, Rusty Feth has really helped since he's jumped in there. Nick DeYoung's been beat up. Connor Colby's been in and out of the lineup, but they've been able to patchwork it together. And Jennings Dunker, I was talking to him the other day, the big right tackle, he's back. He who won the Solon hay bale toss back in August. He's only 6'5", 320.
And you got to love it, too. He's a pre-med student.
He's pre-med, yes.
You sit and talk to him and look at him. He could pinch your head off with one hand.
Yeah, you need.
And he's going to be a medical doctor.
You need medical services if you ever mess with Jennings Dunker.
But Nick DeYoung's coming back.
Mason Richmond has been playing well too. But Nick, it's great to have Nick coming back. He's got another year out of Pella, the window man, I call him.
Yeah.
And Mason Richmond out of Leawood, Kansas. What was most encouraging to me is all week long the same 5 guys were operating in unison. And who knows better than you, a Hall of Fame running back, how important it is to have the offensive line not only playing well, but playing together, playing a bunch of games together, because the next one's depending on the guy next to him.
Well, and the center, and Jack Redney was our center, and he's Chiefs Hall of Fame. And
Great one.
All pro, and he watches games now, and he said, when you look at it, he said, my whole territory was a yard on each side of me, because I had to tell the guards where to go on this side, that side, tell who was the middle linebacker, where the blitzes were coming from. And if you look over and you don't know the person next to you, you can hardly depend on him to do what you're telling him to do. So it's really great to have our offensive line back and together.
And it's critical for the passing game as well as the running game. And one of the rising young stars, one of the young burners that the Hawkeyes have wooed to Iowa from Ohio State last year, young Caleb Johnson, Caleb Brown, excuse me, who is, we got 2 Calebs, and they're both very good. But we've got the wide receiver, Kalen Brown, who transferred in from Ohio State, talking about what good offensive line blocking means to him and to really the passing game.
Yeah, I would say I just, over the month, just seen the team is just getting better. Just overall at what we're doing and understanding what we're doing, I would say. And definitely just as far as the receivers group, just stepping up and being the leaders that we need to be on the team and just bringing that spark that comes to the team in the offense and things like that. So I would just say daily improvements.
Talk about a young guy who's really emerged, especially in the second half of the season. It took him 5 or 6 games to figure it out, both in the locker room, in the film room, and translate that to the field. You know, he made the big play, that 23-yard catch, backpedaling down the sideline at Northwestern, that allowed Drew Stevens to kick the winning field goal. He's run 8 jet sweeps or end arounds, and he's caught 19 passes for a 10-yard average and a touchdown.
Well, you know, he was a 4-star, went to Ohio State, but had never played a number of games or plays till he got to Iowa. And so after 4 or 5 weeks, he got into the rhythm of what it's like to play in the big leagues.
Boy, can he run.
Oh, and you know, once he gets the ball, he runs through tackles. He has good vision. He can see the soft spots when he's running.
You know, Iowa was his first offer out of high school at St. Rita in Chicago. He opted for Ohio State. As Kirk Ferentz would say, well, it wasn't a bad choice.
Yeah.
And after 1 year there, he kind of got lost amongst all that talent, and we're happy he's back in Iowa City. Hawkeye, our Hawk Talk program today is sponsored by Authentic Brand. Authentic Brand. Don't settle for ordinary with your company's apparel. Say hello to a new standard of style known as Authentic Brand. It's not just a label, it's a lifestyle. From sleek office essentials to laid-back, everyday wear, Authentic Brand is the label for you. Eddie's got his very attractive Authentic Brand
of course,
shirt on today as well.
I've got the long-sleeved shirts. I've got, and actually, I have my sweatpants, which are
Authentic Brand sweatpants.
Yeah. I mean,
I've got my jacket behind me. I was wearing that earlier today. Let's flip back over to the defense. We were talking about Jay Higgins and what it means for him to return to Iowa next year. Nick Jackson is also laboring with that decision. He'll focus more on that after the bowl game tomorrow. Nick Jackson has 99 tackles on the season and 4 sacks. Young man from not too far away, Atlanta, Georgia. Was a great player at Virginia for 3 years, all ACC academic. And he's looking forward to tomorrow's game and then make a decision as to whether he can come back for a 6th year.
Just trying to process it, talking to my family, trying to get all the information, trying to make the best decision for me and just honestly the people around me too, because honestly this is not all about me. It's about a lot of people, and a lot of people are impacted.
Is Jay coming back affect you at all?
I mean, yeah, I mean, for sure. I mean, I think that having Jay here is critical. I mean, it's crucial. It's my best friend, so I mean, it's like you have him, so that means a lot for sure. I mean, you go out and you play in Kinnick Stadium, and you just like we talk about it in the locker room all the time, and they're like, it's 3rd down. Like we're just messing around, and just like all the calls, everything we go through in practice, just how electric Kinnick is, the false starts we can get opponents to get because of how loud it is in there, the music blast, and just I mean everything you work for, and it's just it's a college football dream to play at Kinnick and just to play at Iowa. Honestly, like it's been unreal. Like even when we went to Wrigley, I mean, you remember that? I mean, just the fans here, the culture here, and the guys here, the coaches here. I mean, it's unbelievable. So I'm more than thankful for the experience.
Well, there you go, Hawk fans. That's from Nick Jackson. He so very much appreciates your support. I love his line about all the false starts the fans entice the opposing team into. He said, so they hear you. They hear you down there in that field, especially the Iowa defense. You can't get loud enough for the Iowa defense. And hopefully Nick Jackson, well, we know he'll make the right decision. But good luck to Nick. And if he comes back next year, the Hawks will be all the better for it. Hey, the exciting moments, the proud moments, even the hard moments. Wellmark Blue Cross Blue Shield is here for it all as your healthcare champion, making healthcare more affordable with more choices for care and peace of mind no matter what comes your way. Find the plan right for you at wellmark.com/touchdown. That's wellmark.com/touchdown. Well, buddy boy, we're inside 5 minutes to go on our show today here from the pub at the Point in Orlando. Thanks again to the waitstaff and the ownership at the pub. Thanks again to the Swarm Collective for hosting our show here today. We appreciate their support. And thanks to all you wonderful fans for coming out and be a part of the show. We couldn't do it without you. We couldn't do it without your listenership each and every game day, and hopefully somehow, some way you're tuned in tomorrow. All right, you've been studying your notes for Ed won't give all the keys to the game away.
Oh, I'm paid for the keys.
Yeah,
to the
you
game.
get paid for that. Well, give us a little
Club Car Wash.
Club Car Wash.
Yeah,
keys to the game. Give them another little shot. That's good. What's number one tomorrow in your mind from the start?
The interesting thing is that Tennessee throws the ball sideways. So they've got a freshman quarterback who was the number 1 or 2 guy in the league, but they run those sideline to sideline screens. And so he's not going to have to throw the ball down the field. And so our linebackers are going to be stuck inside, and then the cornerbacks are out there all by themselves. So I think Parker's figured it out, so I think we'll be able to stop it. Us running the ball inside is so important, and I think we've got a good chance with the number of players we have are at Iowa because they want to be at Iowa.
Yeah, correct.
We got a chance to win. You know, these people that go here and there and over there and all that stuff, I mean, don't come to Iowa. We've got our team.
Yeah, and they stay.
Yeah.
Or they come back if given the opportunity. Defensively, you're right. They love to throw the ball a lot, and that plays right into the Hawkeyes' hands, in my view, especially with the pressure that the Hawks can get on you. And no doubt they're going to try and confuse this young guy, this young freshman, tomorrow with, Phil's not a stunt guy. He doesn't blitz a lot. He might blitz some more tomorrow just to put some heat on this young guy. See how he reacts.
Well, at 6'6", 215, I'd try to fold him up.
Fold him over.
I'd try to make him look at those old phones that you used to fold up.
That's right.
I'd try to do that.
What do they call the old phones?
Flip phones.
The flip phones. Defensively, Tennessee, they've got a great linebacker in Pierce. They've got two big Blutos. One of them is not playing tomorrow. He opted out. But they've got a kid named Omar Norman Lott. He's got 6 sacks among his 26 tackles. And Tennessee always has a tremendous edge rusher. He may not be Reggie White. And I remember when Reggie White played against Chuck Long in Iowa. But this kid, Tyler Barron, 6'5", 260, and he's a senior. He's one of those kids who has stuck around. He, too, has 6 sacks, 28 tackles. They move him. He's got 16 solos. They move him all over the place.
Yeah, that's the thing, because Hill is not a scrambling quarterback. So when he stays in the pocket, we have to give him protection. If we don't, it'll be a long day.
It'll be a long day.
I can hear the Hawkeye.
Yes, either way, it's going to be a fun day because we'll be with all of our friends from Iowa and the Midwest. So that's our Bowl Talk, Hawk Talk special, courtesy of the Swarm Collective. Thanks again to the pub here at the Point. We'll see you all down the road at the Hawk Huddle here in about an hour. Have a great day. Happy New Year, everybody.
On the Hawkeye Sports Network. From Learfield, this has been the Hawk Talk Bowl Preview Show. Swarming to the citrus. Brought to you by Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. By your local Ford dealers. Iowa Corn. You might think Iowa just grows corn, but the truth is, corn grows Iowa. Brought to you by Iowa's corn farmers of the Iowa Corn Growers Association and the Iowa Corn Promotion Board. U.S. Bank, proud to support Iowa football. U.S. Bank, equal housing lender, member FDIC. University of Iowa Healthcare, changing medicine, changing lives. Also brought to you by U.S. Cellular, built for the Hawkeyes. Built for silencing notifications and turning up the noise. U.S. Cellular, built for us. Iowa Swarm. Learn more at iowaswarm.com. authentic brand. It's more than just a label, it's a statement. And by 988 Lifeline. If you or someone you know needs support now, call or text 988 or chat 988lifeline.org. For daily updates from the Citrus Bowl, subscribe to the Fight for Iowa podcast on your favorite podcast platform. The preceding has been a Learfield presentation on the Hawkeyes Sports Network.